Hi guys, my name is Tushar. Today we will be going to look at the NextJs, the React framework for the web. So today we will see how we can make a project in the NextJs and run it. Okay, so let's get started. So before going into the NextJs, what we need is the Node.js version 18.18 or later versions. You can see the installation guide here. If you will go here, download, you can see for the Mac OS, Windows, and the Linux, all these commands you can go through them one by one and download the Node.js. And after installing the Node.js, you can right away go for the commands. So this is the command hub where you can find the commands of different frameworks. So here is one sample command. Uh, this is the command to create the project. So we will run this command in our terminal. Let me open my terminal. Okay, so let's print this command. This is the command npx create next app at the rate latest. At the rate latest will do that. It will fetch the latest version of Next.js for you. Now we will name our app after that, or we can also do the dot. Let's say I create a folder mkdir front end. Okay, right? So I went to the front end. This is the command for creating the directory in Ubuntu or Mac OS and even the Windows. Okay, and this is the command cd to navigate to that directory or folder. Now we are in the front end. There is nothing here. We will print that command. This is our command. So if you do dot, it will fetch all the dependencies of the framework Next.js, and the folder name would now the app name of your project will be frontend by default, because it is uh, downloading all the dependencies in the root directory in which you have defined the command. So now if you enter it, it will ask some question. You can proceed with why. Yes, I want to create the next app in the version 15.3.3 of Next.js. So do you want to keep the TypeScript? If you like TypeScript or you know anything about TypeScript, then you can say yes. Otherwise, you can even navigate to the no. Let me say yes. So ESLint, it is not as much required as of now for the beginners. So you don't need this. This is actually for the linting. Now Tailwind CS, yes, we are going to use this Tailwind CS because it is a very easy to do. It is very easy to do tool for us to make the design simpler and efficient. Source directory, you can I will tell you how this works even without the source directory. Actually, source directory is by default used in the React.js, but we don't need actually to build that in the Next.js. So now app router, you can recommend it or not recommend, it's your choice. Let's say yes. Now turbo back, you don't need that turbo pack, but if you want, yes, you can say yes. Import alias, it is for the importation, you can say no. So after that, all these things, it will generate the app. Now let's go to the VS Code and open our file. This is my application. So as you can see, it is already building all these things, which is the necessity files. Let it complete. Okay, so it is completed. Now we can navigate to the app, open the terminal. You can use Command Shift and backtick in the Mac, or Control Shift backtick in the Windows or Linux. It is a shortcut actually. Sorry, in the Mac also you can use it with the Control Shift backtick, not Command Shift backtick, to open the terminal, not going here and then doing the new terminal, right? So now we will go to the navigate to the directory app. This is the main folder where you will be writing your code, and else or the folders where you can keep your assets, like the image that you want on your website or your app built with the Next.js. So now let's go through favicon right icon. It is the icon that is used like when Next.js you build the product in the Next.js. Here this icon is this, like in your website this icon will be this icon. You can change it and do your own icons. For that thing you have to keep a icon with the name favicon.ico, same name favicon.ico. Otherwise it will not work. It will fetch by default from cache this same icon. So now let's see other files. This is the global.css file by default. In previous tailwinds we also import other things with the classes or all that stuff with the tailwind, but now in the latest versions we don't need those things, right? Okay, so we can remove these stuff we don't need right now. We can generate our own CSS later on. So let's see this file. This is the main file, not the main file, but the file which will provide the basic layout structure to your app, where you can specify the fonts given by the Next itself in the Next font Google directory. So here are the fonts that are like exported already, and apart from this the title, create next step. Let me run this file. So to run you can use the uh, npm run dev command in the development mode right now to run this application that you are building in the Next.js. As you have already installed the turbo pack, it is saying that next dev with the turbo pack. Okay, now navigate to the localhost of your 300, as Next.js runs on the localhost 300. As you can see, we have already removed the CSS from this file, so that's why we are seeing like this thing. Some things are missing, so let's remove this also and see how we can build our own first page on the application. Now if you remove it, you can use these to accommodate any. By default in the Next.js what happens is that uh, there should be one parent tag. You cannot make a div and another div, because these are two different parent tags. By default every component that is built in Next.js functions, you have to keep that in one parent element. So you can do this thing. This is the div parent, it is the child div of this div, right? So to avoid doing so if you want that I want to create another divs and then another divs, so you can do this simple thing. You can use these tags to make multiple divs and different, because now the outermost tag which is parent is this, which can accommodate all of them, right? So okay, you can do this. Now let's create actually the code suggestion that I am getting because I am using the GitHub Copilot. You can use this tool efficiently. This is the I have configured it with the help of GitHub sign in, so you can follow that. Now let's see, we will create something in the hello world. So this is the div. It will appear you on the front page, which is home page. So here, so you can see this, whatever we wrote here has been printed here, and our app has been built. Okay, so let's build a fine page of ourselves which looks like a good and familiar. So let's try to build a landing page. So in the landing page, what we need is the nav bar and a text in the middle section and some footer, right? So let's do one thing. We will make a div, and in this class name is the property where you can define your CSS. In Tailwind, the CSS can be defined with the help of by default using in the class name with the names. You can go to the Tailwind CSS to learn about the uh, using Tailwind CSS, how you can use it. It is very simple to use. For the flex box, you can write flex and then flex column if you want the flex column or flex row, and the if you want to center the items, you can do the items dot center slash center, sorry, minus center, items minus center. So let's make a navbar for first. In the navbar, you want what you want. You want two things like home, about section, or right. So let's create another div. Let's put some text p home. You can use format document, paste it, or you can also use the uh, another category where you div star p. I think that will also be an efficient way to write. So now let's see how it is looking. It is looking this way. Let me apply some property, flex property. It should come in. Yeah, it has came in the row. Now give it some space, justify space, items center. Let me get all these items into the center. No, it doesn't came. Use this property, justify center. So it has came center here. So which property we can use? We can give the space or margin to individual elements to give them some spacing around them. Okay, so if you will copy this, yeah. So let me build another thing. This is about section, this is contact, and what other we can add in our navbar, home, about, contact, and you can write it or not, demo. Okay, so here our navbar has been made. Let's see how we can do anything else. Let's modify it a bit more by giving border. Yeah, so one thing, you want to make a hover effect on these things. If you want a hover effect, you can use the CSS property hover. uh, let's say these elements itself has some padding or space, right? So if you will go give it border, I can show you here. You can see this is the space of it, this, and if you give it padding, it will uh, give some space around the text, right? No, we don't want that much space. Okay, so we don't want the padding on up and up, very less, like px padding, px horizontal. Yeah, horizontal padding we can give 4. Yeah, it looks much better now. So let's copy this property in others as well. You can remove the border, no need for this. Okay, so after this you can decorate it with hover. On hover, let's make this background not gray, blue, blue 500. So when you will hover on it, it will change to the color of background to blue, right? Yeah. So here we have animated. It is not looking that good. We must give some padding, or you can change even the text color. Okay, hover. Let me off this. It is creating some confusions. Okay, yeah. So when you hover on that, in this way you can also make the changes to your, yeah, now it's looking fine, it is looking good, right? Hover text white. So let's create another section. So you can also divide this part into the sections, right? uh, Generally we use that thing because it gives us more SEO optimization, because as you know, SEO doesn't like divs, all divs. It likes that you keep everything meaningful. One section is navbar. Even the navbar, it consider itself to be header, like that thing. Let me put. You can make above element, right? Why we need this div when we can keep it in the section? Let's remove it. So in this section we have made our navbar. Let's add some more padding to the vertical line, like 2, not to make it as big. Yeah, it is fine, right? So in this way you can add dynamic properties to your elements, and it is looking cool, right? Yeah. So now we'll move and add some things. You can add some picture background picture and splash. Go. Let's use this picture. We will copy the URL. Yeah. So after that, we will section, keep it, give the class name. You can keep it empty and add the properties later on. So let's add the image. In the source property, you can give the URL. Let's see if it loads. Yeah, it has been loaded. Yeah, you can manage other things like the height and thing in the class name property of, if you want, height, where h you will use for h. You can mention the height to be 40. So in this way it will shrink, but let me keep it as by default cover or all the screen. It is looking way better. So now let's add some text. So instead of using here the image, we can load it here in the global.css as a class name, bg external background image URL to be the URL which is being post here. Copy this, move it here. So copy this. Now remove this from here. In the sections, keep this class name, and let's see the what is wrong here. Oh, sorry, I'm missing the selector. H screen and hi to my project. Let me it center flex item center. Let's make this big. mm, Text 5 XL, font bold, text white. So here you can see your first landing page built with the NextJs. So this is the lecture. This is a very beginner lecture where I have to like given you introduction of the NextJs, how you can build and run the application and install the dependencies in the NextJS latest version 15.3.3, and you can use the custom CSS in the global.css as well. I will see you in the next videos where I will show you how to build a front-end app full to full and use it with the backend as well. If you want to learn more, keep me subscribed, keep sharing my videos if you like them, for others who can find it resourceful. So bye bye, take care till the time. Thanks for watching.